Hi again. So since the last reading didn't really work out um, in real time, I thought it was only fair to do at least pull a few cards and just do a second reading. But yeah, maybe just do the energies for today, see if anything's changed different than yesterday, and maybe just do a few different cards, but try to keep it pretty short. So starting with planets for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, Virgo energies for today, the 23rd through whenever. For Virgo. I don't know what that was. Jupiter. Jupiter is in Libra right now, so it's like an expansion of the house that it's in right now, or the sign, and it's in Libra, so an expansion of abundance of fairness. Signs, houses, signs. For Jupiter, Virgo, sign Jupiter. In Libra, this one also kind of wanted to come out. Taurus, both ruled by Venus. And houses. What house is this important for Virgos? The 11th house and the second house. 11th house being the house of, humanitarianism, networking, social networking, originally ruled by Aquarius. The second house being your value, the value you get from your, how you see yourself, from the things that you do, from your, just wherever. And Taurus being an earth sign, and Libra an air sign, so expansion of that, of Libra having to do with relationships and partnerships, and just balance, fairness, sometimes like the justice system, government, law, drawing a line, just like scales, weighing out options. Taurus having to do with more of like a steady progress, luxury, things that are, nice in your environment. Taurus energy can be a little bit lazy, but more so just like taking the slow route, the slow approach, covering all your bases. Jupiter expanding, planet of luck and expansion. The original, like it was in Greek mythology, said to be ruled by Zeus, or to be the equivalent of Zeus. Just having a lot to do with higher education, higher learning. It's the ruler of Pisces and Sagittarius, the 9th house, religion, beliefs, things like that. More of like a structure though, not so much like beliefs in the sense of like what could be, but it's more like institution, religious organizations, things like that. But really anywhere that Jupiter falls kind of expands that house that it's in or that sign that it's in. So you might want to like look to see where Jupiter falls in your chart, and where it's expanding that area of your life. It has a lot to do with teaching. I heard somewhere that like wherever Jupiter is, that's where you should like shoot your arrow. That's where you'll be lucky. That's where like you'll find your luck, your sort of individual, like your unique sort of ability to teach, to share information with others. It has to do with like future a little bit in that sense, like where can you expand into your future. Libra and Taurus being ruled with Venus. So expanding maybe how you see relationships or how you see your environment, surroundings, expanding maybe your household, expanding, taking things to the next level within relationships, expanding your knowledge on laws, philosophy, anything of that nature. Earth and air. So Jupiter often represents like a man, like in your chart, like especially if you're like a woman, like what Mars and Jupiter, like kind of as far in terms of like a relationship reading, as we do with Libra here, it talks about like what you look for in a mate, 11th house, which again is a little bit about expansion, thinking outside the box. So anything like that, Jupiter, expanding your self-worth, maybe, because the second house has to do with your value, what you value, how valued you feel, maybe the money you make, maybe expanding more so in terms of technology within your career, expanding your thoughts, thinking outside the box, expanding your commute or your I don't want to say like your neighborhood, but like expanding your bubble, expanding your reach, expanding into new forms of technology, your beliefs, your dreams, expanding on how you see the future, how you see your future, how you want to see it, luck in the future. I kind of like listened to both like Western and Vedic astrology. Vedic astrology has more to do with I don't know. You can see more of like patterns in history, and it's more predictions having to do with it can be about like overall, but I don't know, sometimes it seems a little bit more fatalist, but like, whereas Western astrology is it seems more personal, and it has more to do with like you now and things like that, but Vedic astrology having to do more, I mean, I'm not an astrologer, so I shouldn't probably talk too much about it, but like, I did look into what Jupiter, because I have Jupiter in the 7th house at 11 degrees in Aquarius, which is original ruler of the 11th house, and so it's like expanding relationships, partnerships. I also mentioned in the last video to look into your part of fortune, and mine sits right there as well. So apparently in Vedic astrology, that means that like whoever I end up with, like, I'll bring luck to, or they'll bring luck to, one of those two things. I don't know. Anyways, guess we'll just do another. Lots going on over here. Another one of these mandala astrology tarot cards to see if there's any further information for today, going forward for Virgo energies, Virgo people. Princess of Wands, Fire Palace, like some sort of grand fire trine. Again, some sort of blossoming flower. Looks like there's just fire in the middle. Fire being the driving force, the expansion of the blossoming of the flower, maybe. Just different layers. It looks like the sun's in the middle, so makes sense. Sun being ruler of Leo and stuff like that. Another fire sign. Just like the arrow pointing up. I don't know. On the bottom, 9 of Cups, Moon in Pisces. So looking up like your moon sign. Knowing where that falls, how that might be affected by these energies, transiting. When you look up your chart, you can choose to see it with transits and see where the current planets are and how those different houses are affecting or being affected by the transits going on right now. Wonder if I can, let's see. Yeah, the Jupiter is in Libra, 20 degrees. Reduces down to a 2. Neptune is in Pisces in the 12th house. Chiron, which was in the last video, is also in Pisces at 25 degrees, which is 7. The moon is in Aquarius. Mars in Taurus. If there's anything else, Mercury in Aries, Venus in Aries right now. So, we just entered like Aries season, so there's a lot of that like beginning new projects, beginning new cycles, beginning maybe new relationships. 9 of Cups. That's like the wish card. It can either also mean like be careful what you wish for. Water energy, Pisces, moon, things that are a little bit hidden, bringing them to light. The 9 of Cups, again, like a wish card, feeling emotionally fulfilled, happy, getting what you want, getting what you wished for. Sometimes think of it as like a genie. Just some of the traditional imagery. Feeling good, feeling satisfied, feeling like you have what you need, what you want. Wishes are coming true, dreams, or maybe making a dream, being lucky. Jupiter expanding whatever it is that you start now, what you are, thinking about, bringing about, that kind of thing. Water and fire. Let's see. I'm gonna go a little bit quicker this time. Hopefully, 15 minutes. I don't know how people do this. So fast. I originally just wanted to like do some of these readings, and I've seen so many of them. I'm like, I could do that. Just thought I'd be doing some fun, like little creative readings, and then all these like predictions started to come true. And just a little bit overwhelming. Sorry, these are a little bit mixed up. Okay. Continuing on. For Virgo energies, clarification on Princess of Wands, that can represent a person in your life, or you, or just the energy, fiery energy, you know, getting excited about something, getting passionate, getting involved in something, starting something new, following, you know, following those sparks, connecting the dots, connecting everything, connecting with your emotion, your feelings about something, head and heart, Princess of Swords. So we got Libra before, and we got 11th house, 2nd house. Yeah, so Knight of Discs on the bottom. A lot of like mutable energy, a lot of cutting through the bullshit, like getting to the point, getting to the heart of things. Clarification. This is often like the slowest knight in the deck. He like takes his time, just sort of, but he gets where he's going eventually. Just, you know, make sure, like, you know, he makes sure that he covers all his bases, like we kind of talked about earlier. And this is someone who's like bringing in news, air again. Looks like some sort of like a green goblin. But they're kind of like have this like upward look, like looking up to the stars, looking up, air and earth again, Libra and Taurus. This, you know, either way, it doesn't have to be a man or a woman. It could just be the energy, or it can be switched in this general reading. So, however it applies to you. I usually think of mutable energy like knights and princesses in this deck as, you know, the mutable signs. So, be Virgo and Gemini. So, Virgo and Gemini. Except, I don't know, the prince and princess is like, in most decks they don't have prince and princesses, they have just knights and pages and things like that, so it's more having to do with the energy, less a person. I mean, it can, but I think deck usually describes it more as that energy of bringing in messages, sending out messages, communication. Shield and a sword, some kind of like nunchucks. He's got his horse, cape. Looks like he's like thinking about whether or not he wants to go up that mountain. It's like looking pretty steep. Do you want to climb it or not? This person's like already there. So it's like, again, kind of like taking your time, figuring out if you want to like make that move, make the hike, make the trek. Is it worth it to you? Kind of like the second house, like does it make the, you know, is it your time, your value, that kind of thing? Are your mental thoughts, maybe your things are going on in your head, are you feeling like they're actually, you know, becoming real somehow? Yeah, so, okay, let's see. Let's just pull out the Knight of Wands. So again, more mutable Knight energy. I think Knight of Wands, Sagittarius, or, I mean, it can be any fire sign, really. It can just describe any fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, but like I said, usually describes mutable energy for me. So, which Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so expanding your thoughts, expanding how you think about something, someone, how you see things, are your actions reflecting how you think about things or what you want to see happen, travel, the Tower. That came up before, actually, right before the video completely did not record. So falling out of something, falling out of maybe communication because of like maybe a meltdown or something like that, being struck by lightning, struck by inspiration. It's a clearing, usually some sort of sudden shock. I forgot that Pluto did come up in the last reading and I forgot to read it, but Pluto being that like kind of knockout, like sudden changes, sudden shifts, clearing away of what's old and unnecessary, but no longer serves you, so that there can be a blank slate for building something new. Again, this reminds me of, I was watching something on the Tower of Babel and how the spiral structure of the tower was designed so that people could better communicate with the higher realms. So I think of like a screw too, and the spiral nature of something in order to, make your way through. Spiraling into something, just that sort of infinity nature, the spiral universe, the cosmos, this does not look great, though usually the tower, it can really, like I said, it can be anything. It can be like a meltdown, thing not recording, or it can be something on a grander scale, like a breakup or a breakdown. Most of these cards are metaphorical, so however it applies to you, maybe electricity, struck in the heart of love, being struck by love, struck by inspiration, or, look at it both ways, something just, looks like a tide pool, some sort of cone shape, connecting though from, earth to the air, connecting reality with the ethers. That kind of speaks to the last reading, and fire in a building, maybe electrical storm going on in your head as well, because we have Libra here, and Jupiter, expansion of your mind, requiring some sort of, brainstorming, electrical, neurals, storm going on in your head, connecting the dots, connecting things, bringing it all together, clearing away what's old, making way for the new. 16 becomes a 7, and that came up also in the last reading, so spiritual messages coming through, like a heaven, like some sort of, think of some sort of Renaissance painting of, like, I don't know, maybe going to the top of something, getting to the top of something, getting to the bottom of something, whatever, either way, like a tornado, just electricity, maybe, they're both wearing red and blue, so again, fire and water, two people falling, Ace of Discs, Pentacles, again, so that works out for Virgo. It's the beginning of something good. It's the first, whatever you start now is going to be good, so it's like kind of taking that first step, that first leap, making that first move towards whatever it is that you want to see happen. It's that golden opportunity. coming through today. So, you know, be on the lookout for things to incorporate into your day. Looking for new information. It can be like something very simple, like a tidbit of advice. A good, I'm like losing my voice. A good tip, like in a very literal sense, like if maybe you're a waiter or waitress, like getting a good tip, getting a good piece of news, getting some good news, or giving some good news. It's just that like beginning of something. So we are like the beginning of a cycle as far as the astrological year starts with Aries. So now coming out of Pisces, it is that like water, fire crossover point, you know, into your first house of who you are, how you see yourself in the world, maybe like the fall in biblical sense, like I think of, you know, coming down from heaven to earth, like how you want, you know, figuring out how you want to, you know, create your world. That was like the last card I think I read in the reading. So 7 though, spiritual number, victory, being spiritually guided, whatever you believe in. Maybe, I mean, since it is financial, it could mean like screwing someone over financially. Try not to do that, I guess. Or giving someone a leg up, you know, a helping hand. Golden ticket, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like the golden ticket. Just looks like a really like peaceful garden, shaded. Are those the lilies? White lilies there. Just ivy, maybe like ivy-covered buildings. Canopy. Maybe making a garden, starting something like that. Maybe like an herb garden, or like if you live in the city, you don't have like a backyard, like maybe, or if you do, planting, going to the store, getting some new stuff to make your backyard nice. Celebrations came up before, so maybe throwing some sort of backyard party, or gaining perspective. Well, I guess usually when the Tower comes up, I pull another card, just, you know. So, clarity on the Tower, how that affects Virgo energies, Virgo people for today. Clarification on the Tower. Emperor. The Empress came up in the last couple of readings a bunch. Empress being 3, the Emperor being 4, so again that adds up to 7, like 16, 2 people. 2 people falling for each other, maybe. You know, the Queen of Swords on the bottom. So much like earth and air energy. The Emperor is major arcana. Like I said, like the counterpart to the Empress. He's together. He's, you know, got his whole kingdom, you know, king of the castle kind of thing. I just think of I did mention my great-grandmother in the last reading. Sorry if I bring this back to me. I just mean to like make sense of like the different, I don't know, ways that you can look at the cards. Berlin, they worked for, or great-grandfather. Like this can be like a grandfather figure too, like father figure, grandfather figure. It can be you, it can be someone you know, it can be a boss. I mean, hopefully not anyone like getting fired, or could be like being shocked by being offered a promotion or something. Go both ways. But I was just thinking about my great grandfather worked for the Emperor of Germany, and how he was exiled at the end of his, right before the First World War. Like, my grandparents had already left, but my great grandparents, but yeah, he was exiled. There's a lot of that. Like, actually, I just realized on the other side of my family, and so maybe like being exiled, feeling, or the opposite, but getting like an invitation. But yeah, on the other side of my family, I came over to America from Switzerland, and like my dad one day gave me this book. He's like, "I'm the keeper of the book." I didn't think that was like a real thing. It's like a 1,000-page book on the side of the family. And yeah, they came over here from Switzerland in like 16 something or other, and so they started a Mennonite community in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and lived like peacefully next to the Conestoga tribe, and yeah, it was kind of cool to find that, because they talk about how proud that they ancestors helped found America, basically, participated in founding of America. I had no idea that back that far, but prior to that, you can even Google it, Melchior, his name, Melchior the Exile, he was in prison for his beliefs and things like that, and that's why they came over to America. So, America being, I think it goes a lot to say with like what's going on right now and refugees and all that, and how America's always been, none of us would be here if anyways, but exile, feeling, finding a new home, maybe being cast out of somewhere. Anytime you have to like leave your house or apartment, maybe like I've had to do that, like just feeling displaced, maybe. But clearing the way for something new, to create a new home, a new castle for yourself, a new environment, a new community. Yeah. He also, it's purple cape, loyalty, again, like red tights, and reminds me of like Robin Hood. Actually, if you Google that name too, my family name, it like traces back to some like, or according to Google, that's their name like first originated back in some like Irish king or something, some sort of, I don't know, mythological king of. It's weird. In the last reading, I actually mentioned something having to do with like the 9 counts of 9, and this guy, this mythological king, was they're not sure if he existed or not, but and I don't even know if it's related. Really, I'm sure we are all sort of somehow related to some, king at some point or something like that. We all came from somewhere. Especially if you believe in the Bible, or but anyways, yeah, he what was I going to say? So I'm going on a few tangents. I meant to make this quicker. Yeah, 4 again being about the home and whatnot, but really he was the ancestor to one of the 9 hostages. Again, something having to do with like breaking free. One of the most like, I don't know, it's Robin Hood like folklore kind of thing. Nile of the 9 hostages or something like that, with like very dramatic stories that I don't know. Anyways, just ruling your kingdom, being in charge, getting it together, being happy, satisfied, in control of things, maybe being in control of, if you are in the position to be like are a boss, maybe giving a promotion or something, getting a raise, but maybe delegating out responsibilities, seeing where people are best at as far as like, their, well, I'm sure if you're a boss, you don't really need my opinion, but yeah, just between, balance between head and reality and thoughts, making sure that everything's kind of reflected and balanced and yeah, so maybe check out what's going on in your 4th house. I kind of associate like that first, the Empress being 3, having to do with the 3rd house, and Emperor 4 having to do with the 4th house, and he can represent Taurus, he can represent Aries, he can represent, but really just connected to Odin, Norse mythology, sent out 2 ravens and to collect information on his kingdom and bring back, I think, actually something having to do with Greek mythology too, where he sent out 2 ravens in 2 different directions and where they met. Talked about meeting halfway also in the recording that didn't record, with the crossroads and stuff like that, but where the 2 ravens met was where they set up the temple for the Oracle of Delphi. It was said to be like a spiritual place. Oracle of Delphi, who received messages from Apollo. I always associate Apollo with the Chariot, also in the major arcana, and the Chariot is number 7, which is the original ruler, or 7th house is originally ruled by Libra, so partnership again. This is weird. I just like notice his brooch too. Maybe brooches for men is the new thing. Capes. It's got some cool rings on. Man jewelry. Yeah, you can see his 2 ravens in the carvings on the seat. Just, yeah, being like in control of your environment and all of that. So maybe I'll just do this and skip the Oracle Visions reading. I want to keep this kind of short. We're already at 38 minutes. Oh my god. So sum up this second reading for Virgo energies today or whenever, when they need to know. 7 of Wands. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. Robert Louis Stevenson, The Card Players by Paul Cezanne, 1893-96. Musée d'Orsay, Paris, France. So just 2 people playing cards. I said like maybe getting together, meeting halfway on a very like realistic, mundane level, like meeting somewhere at a bar or yeah, playing poker. It's not a poker face. Lady Gaga. 7 of Wands. It's taking a stand for what you believe in, what you fighting people off. Writing something down. Also, sometimes it's ideas. Wands, again, more fire energy. So more fiery spiritual energies. Be 7 being a spiritual number. A mystical number. Bottle of wine, maybe just like grabbing a drink with friends. Maybe you have some important planets at like 7 degrees or something in your birth chart, or what's going on in your 7th house, house of partnership. It's also your descendant, so it's kind of like everything you don't think that you are. It's everything you can't see in yourself that when partnerships and that kind of thing come about, they kind of show it to you. It's like attracting what is your opposite sometimes. But maybe coming together, finding that balance, taking a more grounded approach. Usually he's like on a hill and he's fighting off other people like who are trying to, so it can mean like defense, offense, yeah. Eight of Cups, this came up before with the star, like in that February 20th reading. That's funny, Jupiter in Libra at 20 degrees. Eight of Cups, leaving home, leaving a place. 8 being, you know, number of regeneration, transformation, power, strength, infinity, infinity loop, which I got like a long time ago at, oh my god, there's like some party I went to, god, this was when I was like 20, something like 23 or 24, 5, I don't remember, 25 I think, and it was like this party in New York, and they were like, you could pay to have a tattoo, get a tattoo. Sounds a lot shadier than it is. Like in the back room, they weren't just like giving out. You had to. It was a professional person, all that. But then someone I knew had like already gotten one the night before, so I was like, yeah. And at least I already knew that like what I would get if I would get the tattoo. So I kind of, you know, but probably should have given it a little bit more thought. I remember I was with my roommate. I remember him just like, it was late. We had been drinking, and I don't know, alcohol doesn't affect me too much, but like he was like passed out. That should have been my like signal that maybe you shouldn't get a tattoo. But yeah, 8 infinity. This is 8 days. This is my lullaby growing up. So Beatles song. Yeah, so life's not a matter of holding good cards, but playing a poor hand well. It's like extrapolating, expanding, like Jupiter on what I'm seeing here, expanding your mind, what's possible, what could be, knowing that we couldn't ever know all the, you know, all the answers, that our minds are very small and the universe is infinite, and no matter, you know, even the most brilliant scientists and thinkers, you know, don't know the answers, so why would we think that we do? That kind of thing. Just expanding, broadening your horizons, what you think could be, what's possible. You know, I think it's hard to often see outside the box when there's not that context or something to understand something in. When something is so unfamiliar, we can't even fathom it. I think of like reincarnation also with the 8. Maybe combining like Hindu, Buddhist, I forget which one, believes in reincarnation. I think it's Buddhism. But that with like, you know, more traditional belief systems like Christianity, or Judaism. I don't know, getting really like philosophical here with that Jupiter and fire. And anyways, yeah, I think it just starts with like wondering what could be, what is possible beyond the scope of what maybe you've been taught, or we even ever considered, because, you know, you can't really consider something that hasn't been, I don't know, shown to you. It's hard to understand. So just like following the signs, the clues, the little hints and things that speak to you, you know, and tell you something that, yeah, maybe just keeping an eye out, a lookout today for things, signs for you that mean something, that are meaningful, numbers, symbols, anything like that. Usually I put links below that are, you know, extrapolations. sometimes dramatic extrapolations, but visual metaphors for some of the cards that I pull or some of the stories I talk about, and you know, sometimes not always that like meaningful, or sometimes it's just the song title, or sometimes I don't totally even remember like what all the lyrics are in the song. Just kind of like, you know, something pops up and then I go back and listen to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't. I don't want people to think that like it, you know, everything there is like a total like reflection of what I, you know, myself or anything like that, or what could be, or but oftentimes it is not the most not the most dramatic, not the most obvious things that it's like looking for the hidden truths, looking for the hidden clues, the things that, you know, connect the dots, that create a pattern but are the most obvious, things that make sense to you, you know, making sense of things for you, and maybe just expanding your mind, expanding your knowledge base, you know, your interests, all those kinds of things, following little sparks, and just igniting your inspiration, finding ways to do that. You know, sometimes it's just getting outside, or even just like giving yourself limits with Jupiter, like doing the opposite, which can be so expansive, and it's like too many options, and where do I start, sort of thing. So just picking something, just picking one thing to start with, maybe even forcing yourself, giving yourself that kind of limitation, saying I'm going to find something in this book, and or not, you know, because, you know, I don't know, but whatever works for you. I'm a little tired today. Yeah, so Three of Swords was on the bottom. I didn't even notice that. I don't know, want to get into it that much. If you are interested, maybe watch, I think it was the Taurus video, actually, that came up. So maybe go to that, because it can sometimes mean heartbreak, but also I think more so of this trine, and connecting the different elemental signs within you, where they sit in your chart. I also think of creative intelligence, because traditionally there's like three swords and a heart, which looks really bad, but it's not to say that every time that comes up that you're going to have your heart broken. It really is like swords, air, and heart, so creative intelligence. And we also talked about the alchemical cycle in the last one, and that is something that is mentioned in the alchemical cycles: creative intelligence, fire of the heart, igniting the mind, going up higher, you know, expanding what you think is possible by just keeping an open mind and seeing where the day, maybe trying to find an adventure, trying to see where, letting things guide you. Yeah, but I think it's really about connecting all the pieces, all the puzzle pieces. And in your soul, fourth house has to do with your soul, your home, your soul, who you are at a core level, the deepest parts of you, for stability, finding that stability, taking shape, taking form, allowing something else to take shape, take form, being flexible. Pisces is also a mutable sign, along with Virgo and Sagittarius, so yeah, just delving into something, getting into something. If something sparks your interest, see where it leads. You know, see if there's anything that comes of it. Just, you know, decide to learn something new today. Decide to take in a new perspective, a new bit of knowledge, a new song, something like that. But yeah, deciding and letting that lead you, letting that guide you. You know, deciding to be, I keep wanting to say something, and anyways, yeah, so I hope this was helpful. And these readings are a little bit, but yeah, please let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. But I think I'll try to combine these. YouTube editor confuses me, but we'll see what happens. So I'll put some links below and things to follow up on if you're interested, and look for more signs, clues, things that speak to you, symbolism, lyrics, words, anything like that. So, okay, have a great day.